Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Julie Attella, and I'm a researcher here at Wilder. As a member of the Minnesota Strengthening Families Affected by Incarceration Collaborative, I wanted to welcome you to today's forum. As some of you may know, this is the last of a three-part series, and we've been uncovering information that was analyzed using Minnesota Student Survey data from 2013. And for the first time that year, it asked questions of the youth that were taking the survey about whether or not they've had or have an incarcerated parent. So we've been able to look at information about chemical health, academic experiences, and now we have a great panel and speaker to talk about the mental health piece. I'd like to give a special thanks to our forum sponsors. We really kind of rallied together at the time that we could, so we didn't have to charge for this event. So thank you to everyone who was on this list and who was on your program. I'm going to ask you also to look at the backside of your program, and you will see that we have bios. Because we have a very tight schedule, I will not be introducing everybody at length, but just by name. But there are, as you will see, very great people that will be speaking and talking today about this topic. So with that being said, the first person that I would like to introduce is Sue Aberholden. She is the Executive Director of NAMI Minnesota, and welcome, Sue.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to welcome all of you to today's important forum. About 10 years ago, I was on a committee reviewing discharge plans from our regional treatment centers. After looking at it, I asked a simple question. Why wasn't there a question on the plan about how parents would be reunited with their children? Others looked up with a blank stare. It hadn't occurred to them that a person who was civilly committed could actually be a parent. And we face a similar issue today. We see an adult in prison, but we fail as a society to recognize that they are part of families. Not only are they a son or daughter, brother or sister, they may be a mother or father. And as the Maasai tribal members would say, and how are the children? A recent report found that 1 in 14 children have a parent who is incarcerated. That's more than 5 million children, disproportionately impacting children who are poor, Black, or live in rural areas. Over a quarter of the men who in prisons live with a mental illness, and more than 75% of women in prisons live with a mental illness. And a national report found that 65% of all people in jails or prison meet the DSM definition for having a substance use disorder. With that information alone, we know that children who have a parent who is incarcerated are at higher risk for developing a mental illness due to genetics and due to how parenting skills may have been compromised due to the mental illness or substance use disorder. Even putting those two issues aside, these children have essentially lost a parent. They don't have daily contact, voice, or touch. If they are able to visit the parent, it's not an easy place to be, and frankly, children can find it traumatic to visit their parent in prison. And where are they while the parent is in prison? Did they remain in their own home, or did they have to move? Are they in foster care, living with a relative they may or may not like? Did they have to change neighborhoods or schools? Did their family income substantially drop? Are they still living with one parent, and does that parent have less time now to spend with them, to supervise them? How much other disruption in their lives occurred when their parent was sent to prison? We have spent a lot of time in Minnesota, and I mean a lot of time in Minnesota, talking about ACEs. And these children have a lot of them. But due to the stigma around mental illnesses and frankly being in prison, they have few opportunities to talk about it and to receive help. Families are the unrecognized collateral damage of the high incarceration rate of people in our country. It's not surprising then that the outcomes, educational and social, are poor for these children. Empathy and support for them are not in abundance. In fact, our systems, criminal justice, social services, education, rarely recognize or respond to the needs of these children, of these families. Today, we have the opportunity to respond to the question, how are the children? And to learn what we can do in each of our systems and across all of the systems so that in the future we can respond, the children are well. Thank you again for attending the forum today.